This is Ham Nation, episode number 449 for April 15th, 2020. Zoom security, bicycle, mobile, and more.
Hi, everybody. It's Bob Heil, and you're tuned to Ham Nation. It's a program about ham radio, but it's also a program about communications of how we ham radio operators can save lives and sometimes our own lives. But we have some real experts here tonight that's going to help us tell a little bit about that, and especially some things about Zoom. There's a lot of rumors running around about Zoom, and maybe we can clear a few more up tonight. And, of course, we've got Gordo with us. Gordon, how are you?
All is well on the West Coast, and we can't wait to hear from these experts. Back to you, Bob.
Yeah, we'll be back, and you have some, I think it's footage actually of some of the devastation in the storm down around Chattanooga. So we'll look for that in just a little while. But what I'm going to do first, I'm going to bring a good buddy, W3ff, good old Bud Drummond. Hello, Bud. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for asking. Well, what a treat to see you guys together. Oh, you've been together a long time, but I don't see you together like on here as much as I should. Over.
Well, we're really happy that you're here, and the reason he is here, everybody, is yesterday. You probably, all of you know, if you watch the show and listen, I have not put up any antennas here, just a couple of silly wires. And I've got a 20-meter dipole, and it's, let's see here. It's stuff like this that I cut 20 meters and threw it in a tree. But yesterday, I'm listening on 17 meters, and here is W3ff bicycle mobile. I'm going, what? And we started talking to each other, and then a whole bunch of guys got in. So I said, you got to come on here and tell us a little bit about what in the world is going on 18157.5, Bud. Let us hear what's happening.
Okay, well, every day at 1800, a number of us get on 18157.5, and it's called the 17-meter activity group. We like it because the band is open, and it is amazing how many people are sitting there, and they're not transmitting. So what we decided to do was just call it an activity group. We don't have enough money to make it a net now, no net. So what we've decided to do is just make it an activity group, and wow, it's been a hoot. Hawaii and the Caribbean and Northern South America, all over the United States, normally 20 to 30 guys a day show up. There's no net, and it's just a matter of a free-for-all, but there's so many courteous operators out there, it just makes it a blast. Now, a couple of days ago, Bob Heil sent me a note and said, hey, I think I'm going to try to join you here. So I hyped it up, and I said, Heil's going to be there. And so so many guys were listening for him, and it was not a great propagation day. But we caught him yesterday or the day before, and worked out a bunch of guys really, really enjoyed it. Over.
Exactly. Well, the thing that
I say over.
The thing that intrigued me was your rig, and there is a picture of what you use. Tell us a little bit about this mobile. This is really super.
Well, it's a Lightfoot cycle from Montana. It's 29 gears, and it's got Shimano brakes on it. It's fast, and I'm not fast. I'm 80, so I'm not too fast on it. But it corners well, and it does well, and I have a little trailer that's a dog trailer, and on it is an Maratron 500 ALS 500 amp, and I've got a Duracell battery on there, which is an ultra battery, does a really good job. And what I do is just go out for maybe an hour or so, and I can run about, I could pull 40 amps on voice peaks at 12 volts, and on sideband that puts me a good hour on the amplifier. And then the FT857D is sitting under me on that platform. You can see it as a seat there. just below the two wheels. And it's got an FT857 sitting backwards, so I can get to all the control features there. And of course, a Heil headset sits on the handlebars, and the head of the radio is on the handlebars also. The antenna is a buddy pole. It's up 8 feet. I don't want to get more RF on my noggin, so I decided to go to an antenna that's a little higher than me. I used to run it on the as a vertical on the side, easy to do, but this is better to keep the RF off of you. And frankly, when I get someplace, I can put that up to 15 feet or so and let her rip, Bob. Over.
Yeah, well, here's another another view for us also. This is your 6-meter Delta loop. That's pretty cool, bud.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a Delta Loop quad, and my son owns the Buddy Pole company, and I just made some parts up. You can do this, frankly, with PVC and whips, but it is so much fun on 6 because you get out there, and I just run 100 watts, and you turn around in a cul-de-sac, and the guy disappears, and he comes up, and you're starting thinking, hey, this is cool, man. This is ham radio.
Well, here's the one I love. Look at this mobile, Gordon West.
Oh, wow.
What is it?
It's a 1930 Model A Ford, and there's another picture of it, too. I've got a shock-corded whip on the back normally, and a capacity hat. And so there you go. There you go, right there. And that is so much fun. The only thing that doesn't make it look stock is that I put a 12-volt system in so I can run a battery in there so I can run my amplifier.
Oh, ham radio is at best. Well, it's just so much fun that you guys have on that frequency. I'm going to hang out there a little bit, but the fun comes when you guys go down to the islands. Tell us a little bit, but this is going to be fun. Gordo, we'll have to go down and join them sometime. I don't know if we'll be able to cut the mustard with these guys, but it'd be kind of fun, I tell you. Well, we're all going to be listening. Now, before you go, I know you don't probably want to talk about this, but I will. For all of you watching this, Bud's company is the Buddy Pole. And it's one of the things that I know so well about your company, Bud, is that you'll sell parts and pieces. You let guys build their own. And there's a lot of guys that they like to build things, but they can't find the parts. You can supply them. All they got to do is call your number, and away you go. I'm really thrilled about that because we're kind of the same way. We try to help people. Our products can be fixed if they're broken. If you want to do something special, well, that's really cool because your Buddy Pole antenna is just super duper. And I want Gordo to step in here because Gordo uses them quite often. Gordon, you use one on the beach, don't you?
We use it both on the beach as well as maritime mobile. Sometimes we use them as a vertical with an existing ground plane below them. And sometimes we use them end to end, the classic Buddy Pole. But Bud, I want to know, with the antenna relatively close to the Heil headset, Bob's done a great job of making sure no RF is going to get into it. How do you keep the RF out of the 857 and just getting onto any of the wires with that amount of power? How do you do it?
It's 5 o'clock.
That's a good question. But, you know, as Bob has said in previous episodes here on Ham Nation, it's not the microphone. It's how you get that. It's the RF. And so you have to watch that RF and make sure that it doesn't get down there. So you can use a choke balun, easy way to do that. Maybe 6 or 7 turns, close 6-inch turns up there at the antenna itself. That's one way to do it, and you could use a balun is a good way, but that's how to do that. And the thing is, whenever you get that antenna a little bit further away, it's much easier to control the RF, as you guys know.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Bud, and so great to see you. I'm sorry we won't see you this year at Dayton Hamvention, but we know you're always out there and certainly on the air. Back to you, Bob.
All right. Well, thanks, Bud. I really appreciate you you coming on. And I have one other little question that we want to answer. Amanda just sent it to me. Talk to us a little bit about your capacity hat. Tell the audience of what you're doing with your capacity hat on your Model A.
Okay, well, 13 feet 6 inches is as high as you can go here in California for a mobile antenna. And my idea is always to get that antenna as long as possible to be practical, you know. So what it does is it takes 5 feet off the top of that antenna. So the capacity hat has a circular a piece of wire around those tiny elements going out there. And it simply makes that antenna 8 feet tall instead of 13 feet tall. And that makes it easier to get down the road so you don't hit trees. But that particular cap hat weighs 2 ounces, 2.2 ounces. So, you know, it's nothing thing, and it really works. It's a cool thing. That was a very good question, by the way.
Excellent question from Amanda, and she'll be on in a while with the chat room, and she'll have some more questions, I'm sure. Well, thank you for coming on, Bud. It's just so cool to have you on, and we'll be seeing you tomorrow on absolutely 18157.5, right? Don't forget the 5. And we're going to have to learn more about the buddy poll here. Maybe we'll have you come back and we'll build one or do something like that. So I appreciate you coming on. Thanks so very much.
It's my pleasure. I have one last question, if I could, Bob, and one more question.
Sure.
Does Gordon have shorts on?
We'll never know.
Well, there ought to be a there's going to be a segment about that, isn't there, someday?
Yeah, we will.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks. You're both wonderful ambassadors. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Bud.
Thank you. If you don't have fun on ham radio, don't get around Bud Drummond, let me tell you.
What a great guy.
Isn't that great? That's just great. Well, Bud made quite an impression with me in his bicycle mobile the last couple of days. Listen in on 18157.5 and 1800 there. They have